You ever feel like you're competing with your spouse? We actually met in a competition, and so it's very difficult sometimes for us to. Let me just say this: it's a challenge that we sometimes slip back into to competing. But we want to encourage you that now we love to dream together. So when we met in a singing competition, and it was her against me, and I thought I don't know that I can beat her, and she won. By the way, I had very little trophies growing up and wasn't winning at a lot of things, but I made this decision to join her and be with her in a duet, and we actually won together. So, what that taught us early on, right, is it's better to dream together than compete with one another.
Although I have to say that still my main goal in life is beating you at pickleball or board games. No.
Yeah, don't play Monopoly with her. That's
We still compete. But yes, you're right. We met competing and but that's not always healthy for marriages.
No, and I think the first 10 years we brought that into our marriage to, it's her business, it's her job, it's my job, and we're separating, what we do in life as a competition. And so it's not that you have to work together, it's in day to day business or anything like that, but just dreaming together is important. So one of the things we do is we get away at least once a year and talk about the year. Not only do we talk about it, but we pray about it. What that means for us is that we're asking the Lord to help us support one another in the dreams that God's given us. And so I just encourage you, like when you're asking God about your kids, there's so many things that you might think about that they want to accomplish in life, and then you kind of forget that your spouse has some dreams as well. And so, as important as it is to pray for your kids, I think it's just important for us to pray for one another and to dream together and dream for each other's, heart's desire.
Yeah, so like he said, we like to go once a year, typically in November, to schedule our retreat away. So we'll have our list. I'll pray for our spouse, what's our vision together for the next year for each other, for booking vacations, for our children, for our relationship with the Lord, and we create a plan and we get away together, just him and I without the kids. We've done this since our kids were babies.
And they're no longer babies; they're in college, so they're college babies right now. I will say this: the getting away is not as easy as it sounds without kids. One of the things that we struggled with was our kids wanted to go with us. They think they're missing out on fun, and the truth is we have a lot of fun together when we get away. But the purpose of it is to, without distraction, to be really seeking the year out to go. What's the Lord doing this year? What's His desire for my spouse? What's His desire for my wife? What's His desire for my kids? What's His desire for my business? Those type of questions that need some. I don't know about you guys, but sometimes I need a little silence. For me, the sound of the ocean and just it takes me a couple days to unwind before I can really get my mind wrapped about the following year. And sometimes I'm so into the moment that that pain of that year is so real that it takes me a while to unwind. Does that make sense?
Yeah, you're being real there.
Yeah.
Yes, and what else do we do on that prayer vacation?
Well, we'll actually pray separately. I know there's a lot of Christians out there that are super spiritual and they get on their knees and they pray together, and that's just not been
I
our
don't like praying with you. I know it sounds very sweet, but I have a hard time hearing the Lord when we pray together. I don't know. It probably could be a self-conscious thing.
Well, and I think that each person's different. I think that we just have our own quiet time with the Lord, but bringing the same questions. Each kid has some things that we want to see them accomplish, right? And so we just write down, what's some goals that we would like to be involved in throughout the year? How can we invest in them? A lot of times people say, you have great kids. They love Jesus. And man, I just wish we were as lucky. Well, there's been some real intention about it, really praying with the Lord and really being intentional with our money, our time, and our finances to really invest in them.
Okay, so let's talk about dreaming together in business. What does that look like? So we have been, I've been in my business, he's been in his business, and our desire is to come together and work together in what we do. So
Yeah, I would say that, COVID, if maybe you experienced this, we experienced where it really gave us time to think together. COVID really came together. We did a TV show that went all around Texas, and we really worked together, and we're forced to work together. I don't know if you ever been to that place where maybe COVID put you in a place where you're forced to be at home, right, with your spouse. Well, it did for us. It got us thinking about what each other, what our challenges are, right? Same thing with the church. We do things together, even as a family, and work through those challenges through prayer together. And it's so much more powerful when you dream together. I know many moms out there will dream for their kids, but they'll struggle to dream for their husband. And I would just encourage you that just as important, if not more important, there's a priority over the marriage than the kids.
yeah.
And your kids are going to be okay if they, if they have a healthy marriage in their home. So there's some things that we do on the business side, just going through like goals for the year, some of the profit margins, some of the things that we want to accomplish. What are we going to do with those finances if we hit profit margins? If you're an investor or a business owner, you're going to kind of look back at the history of what you've done and then project. And so those projections are kind of what we talk about dreaming. Those projections are not always the case, but we at least bring it to the Lord and say, okay, how are we going to impact the kingdom with our finances?
Well, together, even though I've had a business of my own, bringing him in to look at the finances really helps. So even if we have separate things going on, we're learning how to cross over and bring both of our strengths to each other until we get to that point where we're 100% full time together. Yeah.
I think so. Anything else you want to add?
That's it. Thanks for watching.